Dejection, grief, or sorrow, these have no place in life. Often we know it, yet we are dejected. Often we understand that the situation which we are facing is not within our control, yet we are unhappy, we feel sorrow, we are sad, melancholy, even knowing that our sorrow, our stress, these things are not going to help, but still we cannot control ourselves. Now, similar thing happened when Arjuna, he saw that there were his own relatives on both the sides. Both the warring enemies had his own uncles, grandfathers, close relatives, friends, teachers, and the very thought that when I fight, I'll be killing all these people. Our family will be destroyed. What will happen? Now, the very thought of it, the very feeling of emotion that he had at that moment made him so weak, he could not even stand. And that's what he said. O Lord Krishna, after watching my own relatives who are ready to fight, keenly looking forward to a war, my limbs are becoming cold. My mouth is turning dry. My whole body is harboring a shivering sensation. I can't even hold my Gandiv Dhanush, which is about to fall from my hands. My skin is burning and confusion is reigning supreme in my mind. I am finding it difficult even to remain standing. Keshav, further I observe that even the omens are turning bad, and I do not find solace in killing a large gathering of my own relations. He goes on to say, the very purpose for whom we desire kingdom or happiness or worldly objects, all these relatives of ours have come here to fight, abandoning their hope, abandoning their love for life. They're all there, our teachers, uncles, sons, likewise our grandfathers, grandsons, fathers-in-law, brothers-in-law, and other relatives. Madhusudan, even if I get to rule all the three lokas, the three worlds according to Hindu philosophy, or even if they were to kill me, I do not want to kill them. Where then is the question of my fighting them only for the earthly kingdom? Janardhan, how can we be happy killing Dhritarashtra's son? We shall commit ourselves to sin if we kick them, our own relations. So therefore, I don't see any reason why we should fight and kill them. Madhav, we are not capable of killing our own relatives, Dhritarashtra's son, because we cannot live happily after killing our own brothers. His grief is so intense that he sees the future very dark. Arjun says, Janardhan, as I understand, the families of those whose inherent religion is destroyed have to remain in hell indefinitely. That is what is going to happen to us. It's a pity that even though we are wise enough to understand these ill effects, yet we are ready to carry out the great sin of killing our own near and dear ones due to greed of kingdom, and worldly pleasures. Even if Dhritarashtra's sons, fully armed, kill me at this time when I am totally unarmed, I think such a death will be better for me than committing sin and suffering afflictions. And what does Lord Krishna tell Arjun? He said, Arjun, you lament for people unworthy of your sympathy. Still you talk like a scholar. But let me tell you, knowledgeable people neither mourn for those who are dead, nor do they lament for those who are alive. Neither it is true that at any earlier time you or these kings did not exist, nor that in future we will lose our existence. Just as human being is first a child, then lives his youth, finally becomes an old person, likewise the soul also changes body. It leaves one body to acquire another. In these circumstances, patient and steady people, thoughtful people, wise people are not disturbed nor they feel sad. Kunti Putra Arjun, any state or situation that may bring joy or grief, these are transient like summer or winter. They come and they go. Therefore, you have to bear these. You have to face this. That is life. Because a noble, mature mind who retains his calm even in changing circumstances, challenging situations, and is not disturbed by joy or grief, his soul becomes worthy of salvation. Truth always establishes itself and there is no base for life. An enlightened person always understands the essence of this statement. Only the soul is indestructible. The entire universe is replete with such soul. No one can ever destroy soul. But the bodies that come to embody the unperishable and perpetual soul are all transient and perishable. Therefore, knowing the perishable nature of human body, Arjun, you must not grieve. You must not have any reason to sorrow. And you should get up. With courage, you should fight. Lord Krishna further says, whoever thinks that soul can kill the soul or soul can die does not know the factual truth, because a soul never kills, nor it can be killed by anyone. There can never be a time when this soul is born or there any time when the soul dies, because the soul is everlasting, deathless and eternal. The body may die, but the soul cannot. The soul is ageless, permanent and originless. Arjun, anyone who understands the eternal nature and the everlasting character of the soul comes to know that neither he can kill or be killed. Therefore, like a brave person who follows his duty, you are a warrior, so you get up and die or kill, win the battle or lose with the same mind. Don't worry, because that is a part of your duty. You are a Kshatriya and a Kshatriya has to fight. That is his duty. Evidently, the grief of Arjuna is because of poor emotional intelligence. Because the moment he sees his relatives, he gets into emotional upheaval, which takes away all his bravery, all his valor, and therefore Lord Krishna explains to him that there is nothing better than devotion to the duty. There is nothing better than the path of following one's work, one's one's duty, or even if it is to fight. For example, if we were not to do our duty with devotion, if the soldiers at the borders were not to fight, what will happen? So therefore all persons have to follow their path of duty. There are four classes according to Krishna. He says some in the other chapter. The four classes are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudra. These classes have to perform their duties, and they should happily perform their duty. Even the Shudra, who is supposed to work for all the three, that is Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya, he or she has also to do his duty, to do their duty with satisfaction, as if they are performing their duty. Because the moment they start thinking that this is not something that we should do, they'll feel upset. And besides, the society cannot continue. Society requires all these four classes. In fact, a great novelist, British novelist, Aldous Huxley, he wrote in 1940, he wrote a novel which is called Brave New World. In the Brave New World also, he had four classes of people. He called Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta. And these classes were conditioned to do their job. Whatever their duty is, they were conditioned that they like only that particular work. Now another point which I would like to express here is that duty is not fixed by caste. No, it is by the work which you happen to be doing, so that becomes your duty. Once we understand this and follow the path of our duty with contentment and satisfaction, we'll have absolutely no reason for grief or sorrow or any kind of dejection.